Welcome back once again. This is Crowdcast, and we are back with a brand new podcast and a brand new partner to bring you the Great Western Hotel podcast. That's right. We are proud to be working with a team up there in Rockhampton, expand talking about one of the iconic venues, not just in Queensland, but in the whole of Australia. I'm your host, Adam Simon, and today we're going to kick things off by talking about bull riding, bullfighting. We're going to talk about the dust and the danger and the drive that keeps these amazing cowboys climbing on no matter how hard they get hit. Joining me, we've got Ray West, a retired bullfighter who's now the man behind the iconic Great Western Hotel bull riding events. We've got Zaine Maslin, one of the brightest young talents in the country, currently sitting at second in the leaderboard to this year's series. And we've got Michael Simpson, the proud owner of the Great Western Hotel, hoping to share with us some of his insights, not only as the owner of such a fantastic venue, but also his mind behind bringing bull riding to the hotel, the arena, and the people of Rockhampton. So saddle up, saddle in, hold on tight, let's get into it. Gentlemen, welcome to the Great Western Hotel podcast. Thanks for your time today, and let's get into it. Ray, can I start with you? I mean, you've gone from being one of the toughest riders on the circuit, now organising the events, being the man behind the scenes and riding amazing events like the ones at the Great Western Hotel. What's life like on the other side of the chute these days?
Yeah, good. But I will correct you. I was a bullfighter for 24
A bullfighter?
years, not a rider. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
even more dangerous.
I did ride once. Yeah. I rode back when I was a lot younger, and then took up bullfighting, and I've since retired due to injury. But I've been involved with rodeos for 30-something years now. Best part of my entire adult life and then some. I used to run my own series. I had my own arena and everything once upon a time, while still bullfighting. I've been coming to the Great Western here since basically this pub was turned into a bull riding venue back in the mid-90s. So I rode here, I fought bulls here, and I've run and organised here. So
When you say bullfighting, are we talking about like the Spanish type of thing with obviously not the
no,
flamenco
so
dancing, but
more commonly known to people as a rodeo clown. But these days it's a bit more technical, I suppose. We've ditched all the clown outfits and regard ourselves as athletes now. That's been brought in over the last few years, refer to us as protection athletes, because our job is to protect the riders, take the hits for them and whatnot. So it's evolved a little bit from the traditional rodeo clown point of view of what we were, but yeah, the job's always been similar.
I like the line from Yellowstone where they're talking about bull riding and bullfighting and so on. And he says, they're talking about the arena, and his mate says, I want to meet the first guy who thought this was a good idea. And Kevin Costner says, no, I want to meet the second guy that thought it was a good idea after he got bucked off or kicked by the bulls. I think that applies exactly in your world as well.
Yeah.
Zaine, if I can ask you for a second, mate, you're sitting second in the leaderboard. Mate, that's a big spot to hold. How's the season been treating you so far, and what's been your biggest challenge?
Biggest challenge is probably just consistency, trying to do what I do every weekend to stay at the top. You miss one ride and you could fall down a lot, so just probably staying consistent is probably the biggest struggle.
And is that something which, like, man, what's your training regime like? Is it that of a traditional athlete? Are you training in the gym? Are you doing cardio, or is it weights? What do you have to do to prepare for this?
A bit of everything. Obviously, you're hanging onto a bull. You need strength, so you're going to be training weights as well as cardio. You know, if you feel fit, you feel good, you're going to be riding good. You just want to sort of stay in the best shape you can to be feeling fit and healthy and get on as many practice balls as you can.
Sure, for sure. And Michael, you're the owner of the GWH. Where did the idea come in? Is it a regional thing? It's been a strong thing in the community for quite a while, or it's just something you wanted to try and see? Where was the original light bulb moment for you?
Yeah, so many years ago, previous owners to us were running a little arena out the back, and it was quite popular. And they took the decision in about 1997 to build a huge arena out the back, which they did, which opened in the year 2000. And ever since then, the Great Western Hotel, as Ray alluded to, has been synonymous with bull riding. We believe it is one of the only pubs in Australia that has live bull riding in it. A lot of people are mistaken to think that it's mechanical bulls. It is not. They are real. So, the idea was a concept, probably back in the early 90s, and it flourished towards the late 90s. And then, obviously the big arena was built and opened in the year 2000. And ever since then, every owner has sort of added a bit more to it. And today we've got, what we've got, very proud of what the operation that Ray and the guys run, and the bull riders that come and ride here are some of the best in the world. They come to the Great Western and some of them end up going to the US. It's probably interesting also to note that the PBR in Australia, the Professional Bull Riders, big American company, this was the Great Western Hotel is where this PBR was born in Australia for the Australian series. And that was, I think, probably back in the late 90s as well with Troy Dunn was one of the people at the time who went on to be a world-class and bull rider and a world champion.
And that PBR
Adam,
now is really... Sorry, go ahead.
Just to add to that, Adam, you could pretty much say this area, Rockhampton, Central Queensland, it's the hub of bull riding for Australia. The absolute best bull riders that have ever come out of Australia, predominantly 3/4 of them are from this region. So, and the Great Western has been nurturing the young ones in the sport for so long and bringing them up to that level.
Is that something, I mean, we see that across all sport, don't we? Like the Wagga Wagga region here in New South Wales, synonymous with great Australian footballers and so on. Is that something because young people introduced it as part of their lifestyle, as part of their background at an early age? What is it about the region that makes it flourish so much?
Yeah, Central Queensland, we're also known as the beef capital, Rockhampton, so bulls breeding regimes of raising cattle is country people. We're basically born and bred on the land. Cattle is what we do. Cattle is what we know. You won't find too many people that aren't from the property, outside of Rockhampton somewhere. And that just gives us a leg up in the industry in terms of rodeo. When you're a country boy, rodeo is something you do. It's brought in as a young kid, and having somewhere to go, such as here, it's important to have that. Because these guys, like Zaine, you can drive all over Australia trying to ride bulls, but you need somewhere more local that brings up that younger talent, especially the little kids coming up to 18. And Zaine himself is only 18 at the moment. So it's testament this place does for the young generation in giving them somewhere to get on good stock, ride competitively all the time for good prize money, and then branch from there and go further.
That's becoming a bit more global now. I mean, PBR is associated now with TKO, who owns UFC, who owns WWE. I mean, it's a multi-billion-dollar business, I'd imagine. So it's getting that exposure. It's a sport that's been around for decades or hundreds of years almost from old school cowboys, but now it's very much an international sport, isn't it?
Definitely. The guys here now, like Zaine, it won't be long and Zaine will go to America and try and compete on the circuit over there as well. And so many more are doing that now. And it's because of events like this that they have those opportunities, more local stuff for them to compete at and hone their skills and get better. And we provide them with top-notch stock here all the time to get on. And it just builds a platform for them without having to do so many miles all year just to go to a rodeo. Because it's an expensive hobby as well.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. So, Zaine, I want to come back to you for a moment. I want to come back to another light bulb moment. The first time you ever sat in the chute, you're ready to go, you're holding on for dear life. What was going through your head? Do you remember?
To be honest, the first time I ever rode bulls, I actually didn't like it at all. Dad put me on when I was real young. I was scared of him. I hated it. And he pulled me out. I mean, he put me on originally because he rode bulls. Just thought he'd get me into it because that's what he did. But I didn't like it. Then around the age of 10 to 12, just watching it and stuff, I just randomly really got into it. Went to him one day and said, I want to get on. So my first ride from there, I was keen as. But when Dad put me on way back in the day, I didn't like it too much.
Mate, I saw a video of you last night where I think the word's caught up in recently. You got caught up and so on. I'm not sure if that's not the right terminology. Is that what's going through your head when you are there? You just can't disengage from the bull. Is it scary for you, or is it just you processing, your mind's going a million miles an hour for your safety? What's the thought process?
You sort of just, if you try to stress out and get scared or whatever, that's sort of when it goes bad for you. You sort of just want to try to keep your composure and stay on your feet, because once you lose your feet from under you, that's when it goes wrong. You stomp your feet out from you and throw you around. But if you've got your feet on you, you keep yourself upright so the bullfighter can get in and pull you up and get you out. So you just try to stay as calm as possible, really.
I was watching you look like those rubber action figures we used to have as kids. You're flying around. But is that part of the process, or you actually keep yourself limp, or is it to stiffen up, or is that just a reaction?
They sort of teach you to try to stay on your feet, because if
Right.
you're swinging around, it's also putting a lot of pressure on your hand that's stuck in there. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a lot tighter. You stay on your feet, it allows the bullfighters to be able to get you out. So they try to teach you that at a young age.
Ray, if I come back to you for a second, you've been around for a while and seen a lot. What has changed in the industry, both from the bull riding and the bullfighting perception? What's changed for it that I think it's now getting such a massive global appeal, especially here in Australia? Have you seen something change?
Yeah, look, you can, the PBR, you have to give them credit where credit's due there. It became very mainstream due to televised events and stuff like that. And it brought a bit of glitz and glamour to the sport as well. And that follows down to even the small rodeos now. A lot of guys, we try and do events and keep them family friendly, but give them action as well. The bulls, that's attributed to it because they're all bred bulls these days. Once upon a time, you'd catch them in the scrub somewhere, or you'd go to the sale yards and buy them at the sale. Now, all these bulls are bred, and they're bred from imported semen from America, bucking bulls. The breeding in Australia is off a new level these days, and it just continues on. Look, the whole televised thing, and I guess the rough and tumble of it all, it's attractive to people that haven't seen it. And it's nothing for the hotel here to have someone new that's never seen one in their life, every event we have here for the first time. And they go away, wow, like they're amazed at how tough the cowboys are that ride and what goes into it, and the action of plenty, and don't fight bulls anymore. I do the music and the microphone now, but even that, just a bit of entertainment and crowd interaction. We give them a show these days. It's more than just a rodeo, it's a show now.
And it's also a thing, and this is a question for the three of you, it's also a thing I feel that brings community. My son's 16, 17, and last year we drove from Sydney, did a road trip up the week just for something to do in school holidays, up to the rodeo at Imbil up in Queensland. And
At Imbil?
he'd never been to
I
it
would have
before.
been there.
Yeah, it's totally not his scene. He's rap music and everything else, and I'm a country boy. And then I got there, and it's like, it was such a community. I don't think anyone was home that night. I think the whole town was all there. But everyone made you feel welcome. Everyone felt very safe and so on. I think that's where the sport really appeals to itself, that yes, you get a bit of rough and tumble, but you've got this fantastic community around you of families and individuals and friends that have been friends for years. And I think that's a rare thing. We so often get sport comes in the spotlight for the wrong reason, like with the football players or their behaviour. But this community, very similar to the country music community, I think, is very strong, very closely connected. Is that something you feel as well?
Oh, definitely. And look, you can, and Michael will attest to this, you can go to the middle of Brisbane somewhere these days and you'll find a country themed bar, and that's feed off from city people that'll go to a rodeo and see how fun it is and the entertainment, and it's a lot safer than night clubbing and stuff like that. You get a show, you get to have fun, you get to have drinks, you get live music, you get a bit of everything. And that's filtering through everywhere now. And like I said, bars and clubs, the theme of country is running through everything these days.
Yeah. Michael, is that something from your end, from the commercial end as well as the community? Is that something you think, like shows like TV shows and influences like Yellowstone and the current surge in country music and so on, do those things you think influence the crowd and the attendance as well?
No question, Adam. I mean, culturally, I think all through Australia right now, there's a real affliction for city people to understand a lot more about the country. And we see it here all the time. A lot of people coming through Rockhampton for events that, they accidentally stumble upon a bull ride, and it's infectious. It gets in your blood. As Ray mentioned, there's a lot of places all over Australia right now where they are theming country bars, Western bars. You touched on music there, and a lot of people within regional Queensland would probably tell you there is only two types of music, and that's country and Western. So, but yeah, I mean, you mentioned commercially, but certainly, country is cool again. And, it's people like Zaine that are willing to get on the back of a bull that weighs 700 kilos. And, a lot of people would talk about, the bull. There's only danger out there for one person, and it's not the bull, it's the person on the back of the bull. So it's commercially it's good, and I can absolutely understand why there's a lot more bars all over Australia that want to get involved in the country scene. And I think also people like Taylor Swift, although she's a pop singer, she started in country.
Yes.
there's a lot of huge international acts right now that are historically rappers or not country that are singing either duets with country singers or want to be involved in the country music industry. So no, I think it's a global movement, Adam, and yeah, we're happy to ride that.
And I think we're seeing acceptance at a level that was never there before. As we say, our kids and teenagers are into country music and these crossovers, but you also see someone like a Luke Combs who doesn't look like you, or a Jelly Roll or a Post Malone. They don't look like your traditional pop star, but people are they're hooked in for the music and the atmosphere, and then they don't worry about that. Whereas, 20 years ago, I think everyone had to look a certain way and sound a certain way and make that package. So that's a good thing from my point of view. I've got those modern Luke Combs Adonis looks myself. So it's but I think it's a good thing, and that means that the people are there for the music too, and that's all for the experience. So I think that's a good thing. So Zaine, I'll jump back to you for a sec, mate. Rocky, I've been to Rocky for a couple of years, but last time I was there, what I remember, I had a pretty good night. So I'm pretty wild crowd and so on. How much does the energy of the crowd play into your ride, to your performance? Do you feed off that when you're about to get on?
Oh, we love it, especially here at the Western, because it's our home ground and we know, and we strive here. Like, we love it here. It definitely, everything puts it into you, pumps you up there behind you. I mean, if there was a dead quiet crowd, I don't think we'd ride many bulls.
But and do you also use that in a sense when you might be hurt, you might be feeling tired, but you can feel that crowd put you back on and saddle up one more time?
Yeah, absolutely. Help you find something in you that you didn't know was there. Pull it out of you. Yeah, no, definitely. The crowd is a huge part.
Coming back to something, I just wanted to ask you too about Zaine while I've got you. Obviously, there's heaps of people who've done this before you. I'm pretty sure, knowing the communities the way I do, that they're very sharing of their time and information and mentorship. What's the one piece of advice that you've received from someone that you really thought, I need to keep that in mind and I use it every day?
I was talking to an old bull rider one time after a bull rider got on. It was a bull I bucked off that should have rode, and I was very angry about it. And he come over to me and he just said, mate, that bull, it was in the past. You can't ever, no matter what you do, there's no way you're going to take it back. So just focus all that energy on riding the next one, because that's all that matters. And I think that's a very key thing to have, not getting ripped too down on yourself when it doesn't happen right. It's bull riding. It's not hard to fall off.
Yeah. What about, Zaine, again, a question for you, your age? You're 18. Have you finished school, mate? Please tell me you're not still doing school at the same time as this.
No, I dropped out in grade 11 and started a mechanic apprenticeship.
You're a fantastic, highly educational path now, but now you're 18, you can see, like, a lot of the pubs and clubs, and make this for yourself, a lot of the pubs have the mechanical bull, or the inflatable bull. You sort of look at those guys who've had a few too many, or sometimes the young ladies like to jump on as well, and you have a bit of a chuckle as if to say that's not even close, or you just sort of smirk to yourself in private.
No, I just sort of smirk to yourself in private, but I mean, you can't. It's fun. You can't blame them for having to go. I mean, a bull's thing, but mechanical bull's fun. Everyone's going to try it. It's the closest you can sort of get without getting on a bull.
I like the guys that get on, they've had like a dozen schooners and they can't even get on, and they fall off the other side straight away. They're the good entertainment. So, Michael, I want to ask you a question in regards to, let's talk about the logic and common sense. What's wrong with a good old game of darts just in the corner? A nice quiet beer, a nice quiet game of darts in the corner, as opposed to this absolute wild, frenzied, phenomenal insanity that you've done. I'm pretty sure you're going to have a dart. You're going to tell me right now you have a dartboard too, don't you?
We do have a dartboard. It doesn't get used very often. But no, I think what we do at the Great Western, and we've touched on music, and the Great Western, although is synonymous with bull riding and is something that we'll always do, there's a lot of other things that we do at the Great Western, and music is definitely one of them. We lean heavily into country music. We still have pool tables and great food and all the rest of it. But no, I think when it comes to the bull riding part of it, it is so unique, and it is unique to Central Queensland particularly. So as long as we've got great young people like Zaine that are up and comers, and there's plenty following him that are down as far as 8 and 9 years old, these people want to keep riding bulls. They want to keep entertaining people, and that people want to come and be entertained. Love the idea that we're not a cookie cutter style operation. We've got something really unique, and we've got people that are really passionate about what they do. That's what's important to us.
And that comes through in the presentation, as you say. You've got the right people there. You got yourself, you got Ray, young and up and coming riders, and so on. I think you're putting together a fantastic package, and not just about bull riding, but the whole hotel. And that's what we're going to come to showcase here in coming weeks on the Great Western Hotel podcast. So last question here for you, Ray, before we jump into a few other questions. For you, where, before you step out of the arena, where would you like to see the sport and the community go together?
Look, the sport, it's one of them things, if we keep doing things right, doing properly, we try and do things very professionally, even on a small scale level here. We give the crowd a great show, short amount of time. We don't like to drag things out. We like to run a nice, good, clean, smooth show, give the community what they want. Give them some entertainment. It doesn't have to be expensive. You can come out, have a good night here at the Great Western. You can watch a bull ride. You can listen to music, and that's what it's all about for us. And these up and coming guys, I've been doing it a long time, and for the last few years I've been giving back. I do a lot of stuff on my own back to help these guys, and some of them don't realise it, but for me, I just take satisfaction out of guys that just continue to get better and better. And, if they get to the States and make it big time, well, if they give me a shout out, that'd be great.
And Zaine, where's next for you? Where do you see you've got a few more rounds of this year's? Where do you see, is it the States your option, or is it other things in your future?
The States is definitely the big dream. Obviously, it's what we all dream to get over and do. I think just over this year, next year, just get on as many bulls as I can over here in Australia, get as good as I can to go over there and smash them.
Mate, smash them's what we're already doing. I saw the footage. I got a bit of a sore back myself. It became sore just watching you. So I'm glad it's you, not me. But mate, all the very best for the rest of the season and so on. You're doing a fantastic job in the tender age 18. You've got a whole career ahead of you before you become an old cowboy riding off into the sunset. So, mate, best of luck with the season. All three of you gentlemen, thank you. Zaine, Ray, Michael from the Great Western Hotel. Thank you so much for your time today. Good luck with the rest of the season. And, this is the first of many chats we're going to have about the fantastic people and the fantastic acts that are coming up to the Great Western Hotel here. But in the meantime, that's all for today's ride, folks. Big thanks to Ray West, Zaine Maslin, and Michael from the Great Western Hotel for joining us. Crowdcast loves working at places like the Great Western Hotel in Rockhampton, and it is the home of live country music, bull riding, and most importantly, good times for you, your friends, and your family. If you love this chat today, don't forget to like, subscribe, and to share the Great Western Hotel podcast wherever you get your shows. Spotify, Apple, YouTube, we're on everywhere for you. And stay tuned in coming weeks and days. We've got more great stories from the heart of Rockhampton, the heart of Queensland, the heart of Australia, up there in the Great Western Hotel in Rockhampton. So until next time, keep your hat on. Zaine, hold on for dear life. Keep your boots dusty and keep your spirits wild. We'll see you next time.